This is update for July 8, 2022, day 135 of the war, end of the date update. So first announcement is that I'm gonna discuss the promised analysis of what was the Russian plan of attack, role of the special forces, the initial initial steps of attack, the plan, how it fell apart. All of that will be discussed tomorrow. So that will be basically first 4 days of the war, February 24th through February 28th, and really it's more like first 2 or 3 days of the war. The 28th, that was just a day when the Russian command realized that the plan fell apart and they need to change the plan. But so as a general announcement, it's gonna come tomorrow. Today, let's switch to general and strategic topics. There is not terribly much, but there's some of them. So first of all, Russia is, say, really threatening to Lithuania, who is not passing Russian goods to Kaliningrad. If you all remember, this whole saga has been going on at this point probably for a couple of weeks. And the Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs said that our patience is wearing thin. The way they said that we prepared, we made all of the necessary preparation to respond in very rough way to this situation. So remains to be seen what's going to happen. Does feel that European Union and Lithuania will back out in the last second. More so European Union. Lithuania seems to be very strong and very determined because it's facing a lot of pressure, we mentioned, from Germany and generally from European Union to back out. If you remember, Norway quickly backed out of that situation and just allow passage of Russian goods to Spitsbergen. Now let's switch to internal situation in Russia. There are new numbers for the steel production in months of June, and it fell, depending on their company, from 20 to 50%. So the companies that more focus on internal market, they saw a decline of 20 to 30%. The ones that focused on export markets, on international markets, they saw declines up to 50%. So what really this means is that whole steel making industry, steel mills, they are becoming unprofitable. Some of them becoming wildly unprofitable because at 50% capacity utilization, you really cannot run anything profitable, any business, more or less. So and those that are focused on internal market, they probably basically barely breaking even. So again, they're not really making money they used to. So that's a situation on their steel industry. Then there is another sort of curious news, is that a lot of Russian food chains, they're removing fries from their menus because there is a shortage of potatoes in Russia. Because last year was not did not have good harvest, and so they running low and they cannot import potatoes. So so they removing fries basically from the menus. At the same time, Russian Ministry of Agriculture came out and just denied this and just said that everything's good. We were well supplied with potatoes. In any case, the potato harvest probably coming in about in about a month or so, basically sometime in August, maybe depending on the geography in Russia, it's going to be more towards September. But in any case, they're not far away from the new harvest. And then one final news about Russia: the number of personal bankruptcies rose by 40%, and the number stands at 120,000. The importance obviously not 120,000, but it's more about how it affects sort of financial well-being and just general economic well-being, and it's clearly negative. As you can see that the number jumps by 40%. It's clearly doesn't speak well about their sort of economic life of ordinary Russian. Now let's move to general walk through the front line. As always, we're going to start from the very north, and then we're going to go down in a clockwise fashion. So the tension and artillery shelling and everything, all kind of action, remains elevated and remains heavy across the border. We don't think at this point that renewed Russian invasions through this area is imminent. Simply, Russia does not have enough troops at this point to do that. Nevertheless, the temperature is definitely rising there. Now let's look what's going on east of Kharkiv. Situation here is stable, more or less the same. Russian troops now pressing. Basically, yesterday they were attacking towards this village here, Sosnivka, east of Kazachia Lopань. Now they sort of basically attacking south of Kazachia Lopань towards village Dementivka. So, no changes here. More or less stable. It's relatively low intensity fighting. It's not anything big because all of these units here are still being replenished, regrouped. If you remember, a while ago, about a week ago, we were discussing how this 200th brigade is about to receive a new, fresh, consolidated battalion. So basically, these troops are being replenished and refilled with new soldiers as we sort of speak. Now let's move south. Let's look at what's going on at the Izyum bridgehead. First of all, things here are essentially unchanged, the same. Now the Russian troops are attacking this village Bohorodechne. They're trying to completely squeeze out Ukrainian troops out of here. If you have seen, there was a pretty epic picture how like 5 or 7 Russian tanks were destroyed in this attack. So it obviously failed right now. Now let's move to Lysychansk area and see what's going on there, because Russian troops actually making gains, even though they're not sort of in full force attacking. It probably speaks more about the situation on the Ukrainian side, that the Ukrainian troops are super exhausted, and that's probably more speaks about the whole situation here on the Ukrainian side. So Russian troops managed to almost squeeze out Ukrainian troops out of this village Spirne that we mentioned, that the fighting was going on in the village yesterday. Now they essentially squeezed Ukrainian troops on outskirts of this village. So they made some gain in this area. Then they attacked village Verkhnyo-Kamenske. They actually managed to make initially large progress there. But then Ukrainian command decided to counterattack and specifically used artillery to in sort of proper way. So there was sort of heavy artillery shelling, which caused Russian troops to sort of retreat and lose the initial gains. So the situation basically status quo, but it kind of like oscillated around that status quo during the day. Then also Russian troops continuing to put pressure on this tiny village Rihorika that we don't see on the map, but it's there. No changes there. Now let's move a little bit south. Let's see what's going on in the southern section of this front line, North Donbass front line, as we call it. So there was another area where Russian troops, and specifically Wagner mercenaries, made progress. So they made, call it like a breakthrough towards this village Vesela Dolyna. The fighting is sort of going on, is not like in the village, but it's Ukrainian troops on outskirts of the village, sort of preventing Russian troops from getting into the village. But regardless, as you can see, there was significant advance by the Wagner mercenaries today. Also, they attacked village Vershina without this one here, without much success. But they had success here, and again, it goes back to this whole situation. Then that even in sort of weaker form, Russian troops managed to put enough pressure on Ukrainian troops that are exhausted, and their defenses are not firm and not holding on very well, let's put this way. Now let's move south again. Let's see what's going on straight west of Donetsk. Here situation is frozen, on hold, no changes in this area. Now let's jump to Zaporizhia front line. Here things again the same, everything is frozen, no really changes, just skirmishes, artillery fire, exchange of artillery, shelling, the same as we've seen here for a long time. Now let's jump to Kherson bridgehead. It's actually, there are some differences there. So Russian troops are attacking this Ukrainian positions around Davydiv Brid in this area, and it's to extent unclear, but it seems like they're trying to completely eliminate any remnants of Ukrainian bridgehead here. It's again unclear to us if they succeeded or not. As things become more clear, we'll provide more update on this situation. But it's very clear that things somehow changed. Maybe the Russian troops received here more reinforcements, more reserves, but they are trying to attack and trying to make sort of things sort of unstable and sort of more active on this section of the front line. So it remains to be seen if this means something big, start of something larger, or this is just a local small scale attack just to eliminate the bridgehead and maybe potentially create bridgehead on the other side for themselves. So again, remains to be seen. Thanks for watching, and until tomorrow, bye bye.